just like Kevin Costner.
Yes.
Has your looks gotten you more attention from the ladies because you look like Kevin Costner?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
My
So
girlfriend would say yes.
So what does that attention look like though? What is that? Is it what type of flirting is that? Do they automatically say Kevin Costner? Do you
No.
feel like they're more familiar with you?
I think they're nicer to me.
They're nicer.
But then I'm the one that's usually said I flirt back and I don't realize it.
Sometimes flirting can be you can do it unconsciously.
Correct.
Right? But it can be overt as well, right? You know, unwanted or wanted. So let me ask you just a flat out blunt question. 2 questions. Do you know anybody who has been raped?
Yes.
You do. Do you know a rapist?
Not to my knowledge.
Not to your knowledge. Have you been, when you go out, you know, not now because you're taken, but when you were single and you went out to places with your friends, you know, get together with the guys and stuff like that, you go out to the bar, would you buy a girl a drink?
Not too much.
What?
No, I'm not a big on buying her a drink.
Why?
She should talk to me just because I'm me.
Just because you look like Kevin Costner.
Right, because if I want to talk to you, I want to talk to the real you, not the inebriated you, because the inebriated me is not the same.
Okay.
So why should I buy you a drink?
Okay, so you're the anomaly. Okay,
Probably because I don't drink that much either.
We'll put you to the side. Okay, so we'll talk about that in a second. But when from the male perspective, why do you think that men buy women drinks?
To see what else it'll lead to.
To see what else it'll lead to.
Because as long as I'm buying you drinks, I have your attention, I have your focus, and the more I figure, the more they feed them alcohol. I mean, there's a last call eventually.
So do you think that everyone in the bar or everyone in the club who's buying someone else a drink, male or female, their intention is to get that person more suggestible, more pliable?
Maybe more relaxed?
More relaxed.
Because sometimes, you know, if we never met, we may see each other in passing, but a drink, you might loosen up, be a different person, be willing to answer my questions. But would every person believe that it's going to lead to something in the end? I don't think so. But are there people that do? Right, I'm pretty sure there's people there. Only intention of going to said establishment is to do just that.
Right. So I asked the question about I asked those 2 questions back to back because people that are aggressive in, you know, their aggressiveness and sexual in nature, those people don't just drop out the sky. You know, they're not aliens. Nobody's ever seen them before. There are usually signs that are there that sometimes their friends ignore. Their friends ignore type of, certain, aggressive nature or stalking type behaviors and those kind of things. Most times rapists aren't just rapists overnight. It's just not a blink in time where, oh my gosh, I fell and bumped my head and now I, raped a woman or something like that. There are usually signs. So what signs do you think, just from your own knowledge and experience, what are those signs to you?
I think a lot of people, like you said, I think they're like things that they do. Like some people, they'll reach in. If they reach in, touch, they're playing the game like, okay, I touch her hand, or I touch her leg, or she doesn't mind if I touch her shoulder, or something like that. Like, okay, she's not really like, what are you doing, or like pushing away, so she's okay. I guess a conversation. Like, what are they willing to talk about?
Right.
How far can I carry this conversation?
Right.
Like, you know, if she's open to this and that, then like now they're just picking. But most time, I think most predators, they already know who they've already watched you or someone else at that distance, or we'll just say, you know, because most people, they know who their rapist is or their perpetrator is. They know them personally. They work with them, or we'll just say they're the friend of a friend,
right?
Or you know, maybe the same social group. So they already know. So they've already done their homework. We'll just say, leading up to, you know, whatever. Or it's like, okay, well, she just broke up with so and so, and I know why.
Right.
So, you know, I'm gonna use.
Capitalize
on, you know, maybe I'm that rebound that she just don't know yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and talk my way into this situation.
Right.
And then, right, you know, and 9 out of 10 times, alcohol is like your number one thing.
So you mentioned earlier that you have a girlfriend.
I do.
You do. Say that with a little bit more
yes,
enthusiasm. Have you ever has a man ever come on to you?
Not to my knowledge.
It's not something that you would see overtly or
Nope.
covertly.
No, because usually, like, if it's happening, I'm oblivious to it happening. I mean,
I understand.
I know the world has changed. Society is very different.
Yeah.
But I usually try to stay on my side of the tracks.
Okay. On your side.
On my straight and narrow.
On your straight and narrow. I understand.
Like, I don't put out the wrong vibes, I guess.
Okay. So earlier, I mean, you know, just a couple of minutes ago, you said that you don't really drink that much. Why is that?
I just never have.
It's just not your
I
thing.
think once like my kids like were understanding, like once they knew, I think that was kind of about it. Like I didn't want to portray that, you know, like I guess I didn't need it. Like some people just when they come home they need a drink. I just didn't. That wasn't my thing. Like I don't smoke. I don't play video games.
Just not.
I guess if I was addicted to something, I guess it'd be like ESPN.
Or
sports
boy.
or History Channel. It'd be something like that.
Boy. Okay, so speaking about sports. Speaking about, I mean, you mentioned sports. So you know Deshaun Watson.
I do.
So give me your take on his situation.
So
give me a little bit of the background and
okay,
give me your take.
So obviously right now he's still the quarterback for Houston Texans.
He is.
He is in still discussions if he's going to stay with the team. You know, the trade deadline's coming up. What are they going to do? Now, do I think that, I think last count was 13?
I think they're at 20 now.
I was at 20? Okay. Well, I guess I ain't been on social media. So, but, right. I think a lot of it was similar to the Me Too movement. Like, you know, it takes one. So that one, whether it's man or woman, but one comes out and it's like, okay, the ball is rolling. Because, I mean, within what, 5 days up to now, I guess going into the second week, it's gone from 1 to 3 to 5 to, then it was 12, 13, and I guess now it's 20.
Now it's 20.
So, now, is it a possibility some of those are true? I would probably say yes.
Do you think that certain professions, and speaking about Deshaun Watson, you know, with now these 20 women who, with him being a quarterback for the Houston Texans, and now these 20 women have come forward and are accusing him of sexual assault, do you think that there are some professions that breed more aggressive, breed people to be more aggressive in nature?
I think a lot of it's just based on money and background.
Money and background.
You know, because you can't keep portraying like, oh, well, you know, this guy or that guy grew up in, you know, poverty-stricken or raised by this person or that person, because, I mean, that's society everywhere nowadays. You know, not, you know, back in, you know, 50 years ago, mom and dad were there the whole time. Well, families are dysfunctional, more broken nowadays, so you can't keep pushing that card. You can't always push where you come from.
Okay.
Because that shouldn't underlie whatever. If I lived in a gang-ridden neighborhood, it doesn't mean I go out and kill everybody.
You're gonna be a killer.
But you figure, I mean, he's paid millions of dollars. I mean, as a quarterback, I mean, you're like the main focus of your team. So on TV.
Mhm.
You're seen as a role model and all these other things. So my thing would be like, could you get away with it? 100%. Because I mean, there's things that probably never even reach the news where someone has been paid off for something they've
Or
done.
deals that have been made.
Right. You know, they all have agents, they have lawyers. Nobody talks about it.
So you wouldn't say that it's more that people should be more understanding, not accepting, but understanding of people that play football or people that are in combat stressed environments that display a more aggressive nature, not just sexually but in general, whether they're sober or not, because of what their profession is. Do you think that that's a mitigating circumstance?
No, I think sometimes they just use it. It's like, I guess, like power.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like say the military. If I'm a full bird colonel and I want something, like I'm technically using my rank to try to get what I want.
Right.
So you figure these guys, they're millionaires, public eye. Like, look, while you're here, I mean, I scratch your back, you scratch mine in some sort of way, right? There's
Right.
probably money exchange or what have you.
Right.
Because no one knows if that was a thing. But I mean, as long as I've been in, it doesn't matter. I mean, I guess rank or whatever your structure is, you have a privilege.
Right.
Whether it's basketball, baseball, I mean, it doesn't matter, you know. But I think right now, until something is founded, I mean, it's like anything, it's hearsay.
Right.
I mean, but do I think there's got to be at 20? If there's not one, then they got me.
You'd be shocked.
I would definitely. There's got to be
I
something
understand.
there.
There has
Right.
to be something there.
But I mean, I think it's happened for years.
Okay.
You know, these guys come in and they're groomed. They have all these classes, you know, because it's all over, you know, the news. They're taught this and that, and they do money and this and that. But I mean, they're still accountable people, regardless of what you do. I mean, I
Right.
can't just go out there and do what I want to do. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't make millions of dollars, and you don't either. So,
Right.
you know, I think that's what a lot of it, what it is. It's like, because of who I am, what I got, you know, if I pulled up in a Pinto and I get the same massage, I'm pretty sure, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to attempt anything, pay my little money and roll.
Right.
But if I'm, you know, getting dropped off and I'm paying cash up front and bills,
Mm-hmm.
right, I'm going to see what I can get.
Right.
Where would this lead me? And I think that's what it's, no matter what profession, I think it's just, what can money do for you?
Mm. All right. Well, thank you so much, Terrence Spence. I appreciate your time, and
Yes,
I'll be
ma'am.
talking with you soon.
Yes, ma'am.